Initialize sequence now.
Morning, folks.
It's a real thing.
The Edge Morning Show.
We're now in the approach phase. Everything looking good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Welcome to the Edge Morning Show.
With Chris Knight, Eric Johnson, Fox 2's Faust, and Tabitha Hassell.
The Edge starts now.
Beautiful zippity doo-dah day. I'm full of energy, hope, optimism. Do you happen to know
What day it is?
This day we all get the crap scared out of us by blood-sucking vampires. Tax day.
Dude, that's today.
Do you have the money?
Okay, Mr. Taxman, you want to dance?
It's showtime.
Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. We're ready to get you rock and roll. And Tabitha walks in the door, guys, and says, "It certainly feels like a Monday." How dare you?
It does feel like a
Because
Monday.
it does. I agree with you.
I needed my amp coffee this morning.
Woo! Welcome to The Edge, everybody. Eric Johnson will be here in a little bit. Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, and Faust of Fox 2, 8:03 on a Monday morning, May 17th. Welcome to spring. And not, unless you're listening in a different part of America or the world for this matter. We appreciate it. Welcome to The Edge. We'll be here till 10 o'clock. Okay. Coming up at 8:25. Chris, how'd you pull off getting President Trump on our radio today?
Man, that was luck.
Yeah, President Trump is going to join us at 8:25. Now, it may not be the real President Trump, but President
It
Trump...
might not be. But it might be.
But it might
But it might not be.
Joining us at 8:25. We'll find out what he's been up to, what he thinks about things that are going on, in the Middle East, or no mask, and anything that we might want to ask
I
him.
mean, it is No Mask Monday.
Oh, that's right. We'll get back to that in a second. Oh, my God. Okay, so that's 8:25. Coming up at Amy at 8:40, Amy Stuttle, the owner of Victory Men's Health. Remember Amy?
I'm very
Remember
happy to talk to Amy. I really like Amy.
She gave us our first COVID test.
She
back in
did,
the
and
day.
I'm so thankful for her.
We did it, 3 or 4 tests?
She is
with
right
Amy?
on top of things, always.
We'll find out how things are with the business, what's going on there. And she had her social media accounts pulled last week because of comments that Chrissy Teigen, who's very, very connected to the White House, we know that already, she had put out there, she was telling another person that they should commit suicide before. And
Right.
Mental illness is a big deal. And, Amy went out and was saying, putting stuff on social media, she should lose her sponsorship.
She should lose her sponsorship.
And she did with Macy's, but I think she's still doing stuff with Target. So just because Amy Stuttle put that out there, social media pulled her accounts. We'll talk to Amy about that. If you can believe the cancel culture. Speaking of cancel culture, did you see Judge Judy rip cancel culture?
I did not.
Judge Judy did. Then Alec Baldwin.
I heard about Alec Baldwin, yes.
What, can he not find work on the liberal side?
He's pandering all over the place. I don't know what's going on with him.
But he fancies himself a comedian, and most comedians are against cancel culture. So that was interesting. Holy moly, over the weekend. So that's coming up at 8:40. You won't want to miss that with Amy. See what's happened there. At 9 o'clock, we'll talk with Missouri Senator Brian Williams after he was able to push through legislation, bipartisan, by the way. A lot of Republicans excited for what he did when it comes to police reform. Find out exactly what that is. He's been on the show before talking about it. And any other questions you might have as well, we'll try to get to Brian. And then we've got a lot to talk about as well when we get stuff going on. You said it's mask. What is it?
No Mask Monday.
How did it feel over the weekend? Now, many people...
I feel no different because I wasn't
Many people
wear one to begin
didn't
with.
feel different. To me, it feels very different because I stopped wearing them in the gas stations. I stopped wearing them everywhere. And my gym finally pulled it, which was awesome. So, hell, I was excited about the No Mask Monday, feeling really good. Now, to you, you're like, okay, you didn't feel like it was a change.
I very rarely wore a mask. I mean, there were times like I'm a big proponent of Walgreens, or I was until now when they are not maskless. And that's the only place I wear a mask because I have to go there. I just have to. And so I had to wear my mask there, but no more.
I know. I'm excited about that. Hey, by the way, we're going to have coming up this week, too. I think we'll have my friend Dr. Feigelbaum on. He's the guy that did my hair, where I was going
Yes.
bald from Hans Wyman.
Where you weren't going bald, where you imaginary thought you were going bald.
I'm so excited. It was so easy. Anyway, we'll have him on to talk about it. By the way, the Hans Wyman logo's on our website with the Viper, viperrocks.com. It'll take you right to the site if you have any questions. If anybody ever has any questions, so you can ask me. I'm happy about it. So everything I did was there. I couldn't be more happy. Dr. Feigelbaum will come on, and we'll talk with him too.
I might need his services.
We're gonna get Chris rocking and rolling.
I think
He's
we
got
all
some
need
big
some.
curly hair. We're all gonna get our
Who
hair.
couldn't use more hair? I could use more hair.
But I'm excited. Awesome company. Just a terrific experience so far. So we'll get him on too. The phone number to give us a call, 636-695-2915. 636-695-2915. You can also share the show. We love it when you do. 100.7, the Viper Friday show, as Tabitha's been following, has been really, really, really watched.
Yet 3,700 views at this point. That's in
That's
such
a
a short. It is a lot. We've had more. We've had shows with 30,000 views or more, but it is quite a bit.
Well, Chris busted his ass last week and got us on YouTube.
He did.
You'd been begging
Man,
for
that
it.
looks good too.
And it does.
And it looks
does.
good. How can people watch us or get it associated with
Just
YouTube
go
again?
onto YouTube, look for the Edge Morning Show on YouTube. We're the only one. It's easy to find. Subscribe, because if you subscribe, then you can log on every day to YouTube, because Facebook likes to delete our shows. They like to delete us. So far, YouTube isn't messing with us too much, and we'll see where it goes from here. But what's great about the YouTube show is there's actually a lot of people who are no longer on Facebook, and now we can share the show to those people. They can watch it. They don't have to be logged into Facebook, and you can share the YouTube show to many other resources that you wouldn't normally be able to do with Facebook.
And we appreciate it. And we talked a lot about masks and the restrictions that were being lifted. We got Chris from Wright City calling in already. Chris, what do you want to talk about?
Hey, so me, my wife, and my kids went to Monster Jam yesterday
Oh, that's awesome.
at the Dome.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, I forgot my mask. I didn't even wear it. Not going in, not the whole time I was there, not sitting in my seat. And then I would say 70% of people that were in that facility were not wearing a mask, including some employees.
Well, that's because you don't need to anymore if you've been, quote, vaccinated.
COVID is over.
Nobody's asking you
I'm
anymore
not
whether
vaccinated.
Yeah, but whether you've been vaccinated or not, you're not being asked anymore. Essentially, what the message is that we're getting is you're taking your own health into your own hands.
Unless
which
you go
is-
to Home Depot or Menards or Lowe's.
They're still
or
asking for masks?
Many places are still requiring masks. And many places like Walmart, they're requiring employees who've not been vaccinated to wear a mask. It's
And we
wrong.
should not support them.
And we will not support them.
And Chris, that is
That's the point.
and that's your choice to be able to do that. But you're not going to be asked most places where you go now to wear a mask. You're just not. Tabitha just said it. COVID's over.
COVID is over.
Dr. Naputi also showed us over the weekend. They're changing. When I say the government, they're changing the COVID testing now too, where the amplification is going to be completely different. Guess what? You're going to see COVID just go right down the clip. The test, you're going to see almost, I shouldn't say zero cases, but you're going to see amount of cases go down because the COVID testing is changing. And I'm not saying that health officials are going to say this, but they may point to, quote, well, look at that. The vaccine worked. So whether it does, whether it doesn't, that remains to be seen. But, Chris, we appreciate the call. Thanks again.
They're gearing everybody up, though, for these aliens. That's going to be the next pandemic.
I
Out
know.
with COVID. In with aliens.
60 Minutes UFOs last night.
That's exactly where it's going. That's
Hey-
the next shiny object.
Hey, Chris, have a great Monday, all right?
You too, guys.
Appreciate it. That's a whole nother topic last night. I did not get to see. I turned on at 6:45 and caught a special on Rafael Nadal, the tennis star. I missed the UFOs.
You know, they didn't have a lot to say, and anything they said, I already covered in quotes like 2 weeks ago on my Facebook page, and I reshared it again last night. So if anyone wants to look at my personal Facebook page, you'll see better quotes than what they had on 60 Minutes. But I am telling you, we are going to do a major shift. The next distraction, the next smoke and mirrors is going to be UFOs, because what they're going to start talking about, and they're already conditioning to us to it, just like they started doing mass shootings. We started seeing articles pop up about mass shootings. All of a sudden, there were 10 mass shootings a week. And now they're going to start working on UFOs, extraterrestrials, et cetera, and conditioning us. Because in June, that big report comes out discussing what this new part of the Pentagon is exploring. I can't remember what they call them, UMPs, I believe. I can't remember
I think
what.
You're right. I think it is UMP.
I think it is UMP, and I can't remember what UMP stood for, but it's still UFOs. And you know, a lot of people are coming out. I put the quotes on my Facebook page. A lot of people are coming out and saying that, you know what, UFOs are real, and now they're a national security threat.
What do you mean preparing us? Preparing us for what?
Preparing us to say it's a national security threat, and we have to act on it. That is what's going to happen.
Oh, that's you know what?
And it's already starting.
When President Trump calls us at 8:25,
yes,
we're gonna ask.
We'll have to ask.
We'll
him.
ask President Trump if he knew anything.
Yes.
About UFOs before he left office. I wonder if he remembers taking a picture with our own Chris Knight.
I wonder.
How could he forget?
That's for everybody
How
joining
could
us.
he forget?
You know, at 8:25, President Trump is calling us. It might be the real President Trump. It might not. Who knows? You're just going to have to wait and see. Coming up at 8:40, Amy Stuttle, Victory Men's Health, calling to tell us and maybe just explain what it feels like to be canceled on social media for calling out Christy Teigen, who was telling people they should kill themselves. And she is representing national brands like Target. And then at 9 o'clock, our friend of the show, Brian Williams, will talk about getting police reform passed in the state of Missouri, what it looks like, what it means, and how it worked from a bipartisan standpoint. He's a Democrat. A lot of Republicans jumped on board with this as well. Brian, of course, the only African-American Missouri senator. So we will male Missouri senator, and Brian has joined us on the show before. So we got a packed show. When we were talking about masks, this is something I found interesting too. You know, the largest nurses union in the country ripping the CDC for ending mask mandates.
I did see that.
Imagine that.
Well, oh my! It's like something had to happen. Something's going on that we're not seeing, and this is why I do agree with Dr. Naputi, and I saw it as well when he was before the Senate last week and got blistered by Rand Paul and got caught in some things that he was saying. Why? And then immediately the CDC, we're going to get rid of masks.
There is something going on that we don't see
yet. Because
I don't know what it is.
The nurses union, the hospitals. I interviewed Dr. Garza Friday night on Fox 2 News at 5, and in my humble opinion, I think he was shocked that it happened. Everybody was like, what? Are you? I mean, that's the opinion I get, because we went from, oh my gosh, we got to do it, to no mask if you've been vaccinated. All of a sudden, a vaccine stops you from getting COVID. We already know it doesn't. Scientifically, it does not. It just helps with symptoms, but it does not stop transmission.
No, and there was a big article last night that was released, I think it was by Bloomberg, that I shared on my Facebook page that stated, finally science is saying that the COVID is airborne. I'm like, oh my God, we only talked about this a year ago. Literally a year ago. We knew it was airborne. How did they not know?
Well, this nurses union, and if I always try to go dig down into the story of this nurses union, the largest nurses union in America, saying that people are dying. And you know what?
People are dying.
And people are. But look at who is dying. Once again, not that it makes it any better, but look at all the facts. There's still people who are over 70 with comorbidities.
Correct. And people are still
pre-existing conditions.
And those same people are dying of pneumonia and of flu and of many other illnesses as well.
Exactly. So this nurses union, though, and you have to guess what? They're a Democrat organization. And why does Vic say that? Well, when I went back and looked, they supported Bernie Sanders and they publicly supported Joe Biden. A group, it's a union. So they didn't try to stay just down the middle and do their medical job. They chose to get involved in politics. So they have outed themselves as a Democrat group. There's groups that call themselves conservatives, to be fair.
Right.
So this is a Democrat union that's ripping the CDC and saying they're going to kill people.
Aren't all unions going really far left these days? It seems like, outside of maybe the steelworkers or something along those lines.
I don't know. I'm just telling you. And then I saw people asking, I think I even saw it on a news website this weekend, are you still going to wear your mask even though you don't have to and you've been vaccinated? Is it that much of a security blanket for people? And I'm not ripping it.
I think it is.
I'm trying to understand.
I saw multiple people saying saying, I don't believe the science is there yet to tell me to take my mask off. So I'm going to continue wearing it.
I can't remember who.
I'm like, you are brainwashed.
An MSNBC anchor, Rachel Maddow, put out, I don't know how, I've got to condition myself to learn how to see people without mask and not be afraid.
And those are the people, that's how we separate ourselves. Those people are not my
You
people.
think she was serious?
Yes, I think she's serious. I absolutely think she's serious.
Then she didn't look at the science behind a mask.
They don't, you know what, they have their own science. And their science is just now figuring out that it's airborne. I mean, they have their own science going on. I'll never understand it.
Oh my God. Somebody says that I'm in Tennessee and they have a Trump store here. I was in heaven. President Trump calling us at 8:25, by the way.
I think there's a Trump store at Lake of the Ozarks too, or there was.
Oh my gosh. If there was one, I'm sure Chris would be Chris might own it. If there was one in Lake St. Louis, Chris would be a co-owner. There's absolutely no doubt.
Every city needs a Trump store.
But I continue to, and the other big headline, violence over the weekend. You're talking about shooting death in North City. Woman shot and killed this morning at 6:30. I mean, a man shot and killed in the Carondelet neighborhood. A 20 to 30-year-old at 11:30 during the day yesterday, out in broad daylight.
No, there was a 58-year-old woman that was shot. Now, which shooting? Was this Delmar?
No.
I know there was a 58-year-old man.
Those were the two shootings there. No, this was a woman in her 70s. The one you're referring, and then now let's get to the county shootings.
Okay.
Or the city. It's right on the verge, right on the edge. First of all, a 58-year-old man shot Saturday night in Brentwood in the Drury Inn parking lot, right next to Bonefish Grill.
I heard about that.
Right there on Brentwood Boulevard when you come off 6440.
That does not even slightly surprise me.
What?
That's a heavy area, actually, for shootings.
Right there
People don't
in
typically
that parking lot?
get shot. Maybe not in that parking lot.
That is a packed area.
It is, but it's also right by the Galleria. And that's an area of heavy crime.
Well, we know that.
I have seen 2 rolling gun battles. I witnessed myself right at Hanley and 40, Brentwood and 40, right in that area. I mean, people exit the highway. People are committing crimes right near the highway. People we know take Metrolink into that area and carjack people. I am not shocked at all. I'm really not.
By the way, we appreciate your updates on our Facebook page, 100.7 The Viper. Trying to read those as well as you say where you are in the country and what it looks like from a mask standpoint. Talking about the shootings. Also, the other shooting that we had, a 70-year-old woman driving home from eating Saturday night on Delmar, going back to their home in Clayton.
Well, that must be the one that
there
a
was
listener...
two bullets came in the back of the car.
Yes.
One hit her. She died yesterday.
She is a friend of one of our listeners because they messaged me last night about it.
Well, yeah, yeah.
I did not know this.
Yeah, I know the family.
I don't know the story.
Yeah, they called me to get it on the news.
Good.
And then part of the family didn't want to talk. This woman was shot just driving home from dinner. They weren't in some rolling battle. They were on Delmar going back to their Clayton home. Bullets start to fly in the back of their car. She gets hit, dies. The man driving was able to get him to the hospital. The bullet, that one bounced off the dashboard, came back, it hit him, but guess what? It would have went through his heart. He had his cell phone
I read that on
in
Fox
his shirt
2.
pocket.
Yes.
Wow.
The bullet blew up the cell phone, but it saved his life.
Another high crime area. Are you surprised? There's shootings there every weekend.
On Delmar, close to Clayton?
Absolutely
in
so.
University City?
People fire shots. People don't often get shot. I would never walk in those alleys behind like those areas over there because there's a lot of crime that goes on in those areas.
Oh, my God. Okay, we're getting started. We got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We come back. President Trump. Would the real President Trump please stand up? Please stand up. We'll talk to President Trump what he thinks about everything going on. Back right after this. Share the show 100.7 The Viper on Facebook. Hey, welcome back to The Edge. How does it feel to go mask-free throughout the entire St. Louis metropolitan area, not just in St. Charles? Welcome back to The Edge. Eric Johnson's here, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Big Faust of Fox 2. Of course, share the show, 100.7 The Viper on Facebook. Coming up at 8:40, Amy Stuttle from Victory Men's Health. She has gone viral on social media, thanks to Candace Owens, because Amy Stuttle got censored because she was calling out Chrissy Teigen for telling people that they should kill themselves.
That's crazy.
Yet she still has national advertising contracts. I think with Target. I think Macy's dropped her. We'll get the lowdown from Amy Stuttle from Victory Men's Health, friend of the show. Also, 9 o'clock, Brian Williams, Missouri senator. He got legislation passed on Friday for police reform throughout the state of Missouri. It's being hailed as something the state needed, and it was bipartisan. Brian's always been willing to work across the aisles. We'll get to what he's got going on. If you have any questions for him, let us know. But this is a major, major interview. We got President Trump on the line, guys. President Trump, we know you've heard about the Viper, or former President Trump. Good morning. How's everything going this morning? We appreciate the phone call.
Good morning. It's probably the biggest, most hugely guest that you might have next to Dr. Naputi, who I love. He's doing very good things, but I'm so happy to be here.
Hey, have you ever heard of Platinum Rock Legends?
So you have the silver, and then you got the gold. I've heard of Platinum Rock. They're tremendously huge, bigly huge on the East Coast. They're also fantastic.
Hey, President.
If I turn your mic on.
You know that's right. Well, as Tabitha Hassell would call you, the current president, but that's for another day. I'd like you to weigh in real quickly on the tax situation, because it's going up, man. It's going up, and I need you to weigh in. How are the Democrats going to pass this massive tax bill whenever they can't even control the economy and inflation? I just riff for a second.
Let me just say two things. When I was in office, things were doing beautifully. They were big. We were winning. Taxes were down. We had great jobs. And by the way, they were good jobs. And I don't understand how nowadays, quite frankly, okay, you can actually raise the taxes. We don't understand what they're doing. I don't think anybody does.
Good answer. Ish.
Hey, President, are you wearing your mask in Florida?
I was just out on the golf course winning bigly, you might ask, and there was a person that I asked, okay, to keep score because I did not want any cheating going on. And I told the guy, my partner, who's fabulous, by the way, I am going to get my ball in that hole with less strokes than you. And I did not have my mask on. And I heard a whistle. And I don't like whistleblowers. And the whistle was for me to call in and talk to the Viper.
President Trump, I want to know, who is the real winner of the 2020 presidential election?
Well, I think, Tabitha, that's probably obvious. As you know, I won big. We won hugely. Michigan, Arizona. I could go on and on. Millions of votes, millions. We had 50,000 people at a Trump rally, and we had, 200? And Biden sitting in a car? It doesn't make any sense.
And everybody's sitting in their little circles.
Well, I'm curious, how's the former First Lady doing, Melania?
Beautiful Melania. She's doing fabulously okay. Everything is good. We've been playing golf. We've been taking trips. We've been actually doing quite well. We're fabulous. We're winning. Beautiful Melania. She's doing well. She says hi.
Well,
She says hi. Hi.
In which language?
Hey, Eric, I was wondering if President Trump takes lots of pictures with you took a lot of pictures.
I remember. You took one with him.
You took one with our own very own Chris Knight with the Viper. I'm curious if you remember Chris Knight or heard about Chris Knight.
Oh, of course I remember Chris Knight. He came up to me. He said, "Hey, Mr. President, I love you bigly, okay? And I love the wall that you're building. It's a big wall. It's a beautiful wall." And we talked about the wall. And as you know, Vic, we have Space Force now. Space Force, big, beautiful new logo. And Chris said, "I think you should build a wall, okay? up to space to control that as well. That's the best idea I've ever had, and I'm going to do it.
Well, first of all, you weren't president at the time. That's the interesting thing. I feel like we're being part of a ruse. Is this the real guy or not?
Is this really the president?
Yeah, this was well before you were president.
Let
Answer
me
the
just
question.
I'll say this much. I meet so many people, okay? They're big people. They're important people, quite frankly, more important to me, but not all the time. And I don't like what's going on in the Far East or the Middle East. I can't remember which one comes first, but I do remember when I met Chris in the East.
East St. Louis-ish, but yeah, I guess.
In St. Louis. Do you remember me being your campaign girl back in 2000?
Oh, yeah, right.
I mean,
no way he does.
I mean, I presented you with a button downtown at the Hyatt Hotel in front of the press.
Of course, I remember. It's a beautiful big button. It's my favorite button. And in fact, I wear it all the time. And Melania said, "Where did you get that button?" Okay. And I said, "I got it from Tabitha Hassell."
That's right.
And a lot of people think that Doge, or Doji as they call it, it looks like a Doge button.
I was well ahead of my time with that Doge button.
The button was actually bigger than Tabitha. That's why you remember it.
I'm curious, President, when you come to St. Louis, what's your favorite restaurant to go to?
You know what? I have so many, okay? St. Louis is so good. I sometimes go to get dessert first, and I go to Ted Drew's is where I like to go. But as you know, Vic, I love the Big Mac. I love Big Macs. And there's a restaurant here that has a number 25. They don't call it the Big Mac. It's the 25, and that's named after Mark McGuire, the Big Mac, okay? That's where I go. I love it. It's at Circle 7.
Circle 7?
Yeah, baby, Circle 7. That's one of my favorite
God, I hate to
places.
admit it that he's right. He's right.
It is amazing.
I see President Trump at Circle 7 all the time.
Yeah. And why
Along
wouldn't
with
you?
Mike Lindell. They have their meetings there every morning at 10 a.m.
Hey, Chris, before we let the former president go, did you want to chat with him at all? Are you good? Any
I'm
pressure?
good. It was great hearing his voice.
Well, former president, please keep. Hey, real quick before we go, what about UFOs?
Oh,
60 minutes.
Oh.
Did you get any intel before you left office
Such a good question.
on UFOs or anything you can tell us about, or should we be worried about green people coming out and about and seeing things flying around?
Well, I'll tell you this much, okay? The space, it's very big. It's huge. It's bigly. It's quite bigger than the Earth, as you know. And there could be. But that's why I'm going to build a wall, and we'll take care of that. We're winning.
Against the aliens. Are you running in 24? Go.
I'm always running, but you know what? We'll have to wait and see. I am super excited to be talking to you all here today. And 2024, it's so quick right around the corner. We're going to do our best.
Hey,
That's all you can do, I guess.
Hey, President, I'm sure you and Nancy Pelosi are friends now, and I hope everything works out with that relationship as well.
Well, she can be very nasty sometimes, okay? And the way she says, we have to pass this bill because we don't know what's in it. And I'm like, who talks like this? So, she does what she does, but, we'll see.
Yeah, it seems like her priorities are backwards. Let's find out what's in it and then pass the damn thing.
Well, hey, can you find some time for us to get down to Mar-a-Lago sometime?
Yeah.
Chris Knight has a place in Florida, so we have to come see you. Don't big time us, okay?
No, sir.
All right, President. Former President Donald Trump joining the Viper. Hey, share the show for us because we know you have a lot of people.
Yeah.
Let us know when you actually get back on social
I
media.
don't think he can share anything right now, can he?
No. We'll talk to you later, President. Okay, former President.
Ah, nice.
I'll leave you with this. When I have a question and people ask me questions, I don't ever say, I better stop talking or I'll get in trouble. Trump doesn't get in trouble.
I love it. That's a shot at Biden. Former President Donald Trump joining us. We appreciate it, of course. I guess it's a hint that his favorite restaurant is
Ted Drew's.
Is Circle 7 and Ted Drew's.
Yeah, Ted Drew's in Circle 7. So it's really him, I guess. True story, though. True
Good to
story.
hear from President on a Monday morning.
I know.
Give us a smile.
It is a true story. Chris actually did meet Trump down at the old, what is it, the
I
Kiel
saw the
Opera House.
photo.
It wasn't the Kiel, whatever they call it. And this is how Trump rolled back on that first tour. I call it a tour because that's what it was. It was like he rushed the backstage door. Nobody stopped Chris. He just walks back there. This is, hey, man.
I
what's
was
up?
wondering how
Dude,
that
I'm
worked.
telling you, it was so gangster how he got back there. It was unbelievable. That's Chris for you, though, man. He does not take no for an answer.
You know, he does look
And he was
official when he
great
wears
to
a
me.
suit jacket.
He was
He's
great
very
to me.
nice.
He was very, very good to me.
When I was his little campaign girl, he was extremely nice to my friend and I also.
I was really surprised how nice of a person he really was. I mean, it was just crazy.
And he's a big, tall guy.
Big, tall guy, huge hands, and
Huge.
just
Not as
Huge-
big as
wait,
Anthony Robbins.
Wait a minute, huge hands?
huge hands, man. When he shook
I
my
thought
hand, I was
President
like,
Trump was made fun
"Holy
of for having
cow."
small hands.
No.
And Anthony Robbins' hands are actually much larger because I met them together. And I did look. And
I can't go any
both
farther with that.
very nice people. I even told Anthony Robbins, I'm like, you have really big hands.
Oh my God.
I'm sure he hears that all the time.
Wow, Tab.
No, I didn't mean it in
It was
any
date
weird
night
way.
with-
No.
So he wasn't short stacked, Tab?
Short stick?
Short stick.
I
Yeah.
don't know. And I was not looking at his
Hey,
hands
President
for
Trump,
that reason.
come over here and cough. Yeah, pretty good.
It just, when I met him, he shook my hand and then he put his hand on my shoulder and I'm like, his hand was like bigger than my head. The guy is so, I mean, he's like 6'7".
this
No,
story.
he's not. He's like 6'3".
Anthony Robbins. I'm not talking about Trump. I'm
Robbins.
talking about Anthony Robbins.
Yes.
Tony Robbins.
Yes, he is. He's taller.
Yeah, but who could win in a fight?
Oh my God.
He would just step on everyone and squash them. He's so tall.
Oh.
But maybe we'll get a call from President again, and if anybody, did you ask him his shoe size?
Yeah, what about shoe size?
I looked at his shoes, but no, I didn't ask.
Oh my gosh.
How big were they?
He had big feet.
Well, you know what they say.
But he's like I said, he's like 6'7". Of course he had.
Yeah.
Hey, we
But
missed.
you know, just to get Trump was, and I don't think he's changed. Chris? He stood out there and shook hands with everybody in that venue, and there was 5,000 people and 3,000 people, something like that. He did not leave after his speech. He is the most inviting person I've ever seen in my life. That Trump, if he runs again,
It'll be
I
crazy.
hate to say it's game over, but man, the way the Democrats are going right now, it's game over.
It depends on the cheating.
I've always said it depends on the.
I
it
know.
depends
Well,
on
they
the
got to be
voting.
careful about that HR1 or SR1. That thing better fail miserably,
Hey,
or else
but-
it's over.
The only hope, and that's a good point, Eric, is that if Joe Manchin and a couple other
They'll hold out.
hold
oh
out.
yeah, there's 3 of them now. There's the 2 from Arizona and Manchin. That's 3. That is 3 senators that are a firewall for this any breaking up the filibuster.
Well, whether people agree with it or not, I mean, it almost seems as if the cancel culture that has started, and if you try to go after somebody, you get taken off social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. It almost goes, doesn't it seem like it goes over to the Democratic side?
all the time.
Okay,
Every time.
Whether that's true, that's just what it
I
seems.
think the teeter-totter is going back the other way, though, man. I really do. I don't know what it
The
is.
teeter-totter is not going the other way.
I think it is. Look at the guy.
the
that-
teeter-totter will never go in our favor.
Look at the cat from the Space Force that got fired from his post because he said, you know, this what is it? What Vic said the other day. There was Marxist teachings in the military now, and he's
Yeah.
like, I don't deal with this. I'm not digging this at all, and he got fired.
Yeah,
he
he
got
did.
shut down. Man,
Well-
people are going to start to.
Well, and that's a perfect point as we bring in our friend, long time no talk to, president and owner of Victory Men's Health, Amy Stuttle. Way back when we got our first test when it came to COVID, we did them with Victory Men's Health. How are you doing, our friend?
Hello. Nice talking to you guys today.
Yeah, we miss you. Keep us posted. We'll talk to you before we get out of the show about what's happening at Victory Men's Health, but we're talking about cancel culture and being careful what you say. Oh my gosh. You're a social media superstar now. You were canceled out. Then Candace Owens starts putting your stuff out to go viral. Get us caught up
Very
on
nice.
what happened after you kind of just put out some messages when it came to what Christy Teigen did to Courtney Stodden when it comes to suicide?
Yeah, so I was on social media and I saw a post from Candace Owens about these tweets from Chrissy Teigen telling multiple teenagers to commit suicide, kill themselves, shoot yourself in the face. I want you dead.
Wow.
Add more slits to your wrist, to Lindsay Lohan.
Whoa.
And I was like, whoa, I thought Hollywood was woke. I mean, I thought, it's a woke-topia over there in California, and they're
woke-topia.
saving us, from all these people and all these social injustice issues. And Chrissy Teigen, one of the biggest mouths on Twitter that there is over here telling people to kill themselves. And I usually stay out of this stuff on my social media just because, we have thousands of patients, and so I just try to stay neutral. But this one didn't sit very well with me. So I took to my social media, and on Instagram, for example, Chrissy Teigen has 35 million followers, and I have 150 friends that follow her as well. And so I said, here we are, and this is making the news, and you're being made aware that this woman is telling people to kill themselves. Why are you still following her? Why is Macy's carrying her cookware line? Target, VRBO, wake up. Why is this okay for her to say these things, but yet we can make somebody wants to read between the lines on a Donald Trump tweet, and he's banned for life. So I posted it, and Candace Owens picked up my story, and I started getting hundreds of followers, numerous people messaging me, oh my gosh, thanks for saying something, and we agree, da-da-da-da-da. Within an hour, I would say, I got a notification from Instagram that I had suspicious activity on my account and that they were locking it, and I needed to follow these security steps. So I did. I follow these really annoying security steps, text, emails, codes, whatever, get my account back going. And I'm continuing to get the followers and the messages. And then I get another message, just a black screen on my Instagram that says, we are, to protect our community, we have, disabled your account indefinitely. I had no control over basically getting it back up and going. So I was shut down for, I guess, close to 24 hours. Once my post came down off of Candace Owens' story, then my account was opened back up. And then I posted again that my account was shut down. And I had numerous people message me the exact same story, that Twitter and Instagram had shut them down when they started to carry the hashtag cancel Chrissy Teigen or surviving Chrissy Teigen. So it wasn't just me that Instagram and Twitter was canceling.
So I guess my question is, does Instagram, Facebook, the Twitters of the world, do they have the power to shut down hundreds of millions of people if it goes viral like this?
They have the power to do anything they want
to
do.
So are they ready
They're
to...
a private company.
Are they ready to... Because I told you, man, when the soccer moms get involved, this is when the things change. When the people are like...
I think Chrissy Teigen is a soccer mom.
Well, I don't know about that. Maybe she is. But I tell you what, it feels like your tweet was like the first volley or a volley in this soccer mom war against the social media hacks, and definitely against the woke-topia that you just talked about. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, so Macy's, for example, who carries her cookware line, if you look at their social media and go back a week or two, they might have 50 comments on a post. After this story started gaining traction, 23,000 people commenting, people like me, about Chrissy Teigen. But what's crazy is if you look at the hashtags or Chrissy Teigen's followers, they haven't moved at all. They haven't dropped at all. So is that Instagram protecting them, or does she have 34 million sheep following her? And then with the hashtag cancel Chrissy Teigen, it says less than 100 people have tagged that. My rear on that. 23,000 people on Macy's alone commented about Chrissy Teigen. So I think that, I think Instagram and Twitter are protecting her, but how long they can protect her from, soccer moms like me, I don't know.
Wow.
They did this on just recently with one of the Kardashians. One of the Kardashians had released a photo, or somehow a photo was released of her that was untouched, and people started commenting it, and social media removed every single part of that photo, and they warned every single person who shared it to remove it immediately or be blocked. And it's really a shame that social media platforms like that have that control to where they protect certain celebrities or certain notable people, and they have algorithms where if they put in, let's say, a Chrissy Teigen hashtag or a Kardashian hashtag, They will weed you out and get rid of your account. To me, and Biden just canceled everything that Trump was trying to do with Section 230 with an executive order. He just said, we are not going to make any changes to social media just on Friday.
So what does that mean?
It means
you have to
that
wait until another administration comes in?
And Amy, you're our hero of the day for sure for stepping up like this and putting yourself on the line. It means people like Amy who step up and come forward, and people who, like Amy, have their accounts deleted or put in Facebook jail, etc. There's nothing we can do.
It's mental illness and suicide and depression are serious issues. It's as serious as it gets. I just don't know why Chrissy Teigen would do this and then be protected by Macy's.
She feels that way.
And Target.
That's why. She feels that way.
But I think, does she still have any of these advertising contracts, or was she dropped, do you know?
So Macy's and Target dropped her. I did see, yesterday that the cookbook was still at Target, but they dropped her cookware, like her pots and pans, and so did Macy's. But she's still in a partnership with Kris Jenner, Noah Kardashian, on a cleaning line. She's still partnered up with the RBO. Her husband is still on NBC on The Voice. She was on the lip sync battle or something like that. So there's still a long way to go. And Courtney Stodden was 16 years old when she told her to go take a dirt nap. I mean, and that was a public tweet. Lindsay Lohan was in her early 20s when she, tried to commit suicide. And this Chrissy Teigen, it was a public tweet as well, told her to add more slits to her wrist.
Damn.
That Farrah Abraham from the teen mom, she told her that everyone hated her. Sarah Palin, she told Sarah Palin to shoot herself in the face. I want you to shoot yourself in the face.
Did Teigen apologize for any of this publicly?
Those 4 tweets were all public.
Do you know if Teigen has apologized for any of this publicly?
She came out and apologized to Courtney Stodden, but Courtney Stodden is still blocked because Courtney Stodden then tells her story. Well, she's made this public apology, but I'm still blocked, so I was never going to see it.
Oh my
it's
gosh!
just for her image. It was never to me.
Man,
so your Instagram is still blocked?
So Courtney Stodden, Chrissy Teigen blocks her on Twitter, so she makes this public apology, but Courtney Stodden is not able to see it. She only sees it because a news outlet picks up on it because Courtney Stodden can't access anything that Chrissy Teigen's talking about because Chrissy Teigen has her blocked.
So I guess
social media.
Chrissy Teigen's kind of a millennial, I guess. I don't know. I mean, how do the other millennials feel about her? Are they like, you just went over the line? Do they agree with her? She's got 34 million followers. Of the 34 million, how many agree with her, you think?
Well, what I'm frustrated about is I have 150 friends that are following her, and it's my mission to get them to unfollow her. And I've made a little bit of progress. I've gotten 25 to 30 of them to unfollow her, but that's what I asked. And the one comment back to me was, well, I obviously don't agree with the suicide, but, I do like, her recipes that she puts out.
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
Are you going to follow somebody and tolerate suicide messages over
Martha Stewart's much better.
A crock pot recipe?
Wow.
And Amy, this is making its way to Fox News. They touched base on it this morning, and I heard they're going to discuss it more a little bit later throughout the day.
What about Candace Owens? Has she reached out to you at all? Did she ever reach out to you and say, thank you for putting that out there? Let me take it from here.
Well, she just put my 2 stories on her platform, which was great because she has an amazing group of followers, and it was amazing how many people reached out, like, thank you so much, or I had this happen to me, and it was hundreds and hundreds of people.
So you started this volley. Can I give you a little suggestion? I don't know how you would do it. I suggest you do a video, like a passionate video, and I guarantee you that will go like gangbusters
Where's
all over the place.
Where's she supposed to post it?
Facebook. Do Facebook. That's where the lady from the restaurants in California did it, and now she's running for Senate or something like that. I say you just get on your phone and say, look, let me tell you a little story about what happened here. Let me tell you about Chrissy Teigen's blah, 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 blah. I tell you what, I think it would go viral as hell, and that's what's starting. It's not the text and the tweets anymore. It's these impassioned videos.
It's a criminal offense, Eric. I mean, she literally needs to be prosecuted for it because you can actually cause someone's death by encouraging them to do that. Thank God, if she comes across somebody harassed me 2 years ago and they told me to commit suicide. Thank God.
What if somebody,
I'm not a depressed person that would actually do it.
Did commit suicide.
That's exactly right.
Because this has happened.
It has happened
countless
many
times in
times.
America.
Many times.
And they've
it's
gone
wrong.
to jail. They've gone to jail. The one that comes
exactly
up.
Right.
Remember the girlfriend that told the boyfriend to go commit suicide? He did. She got in trouble for it. So she could have like multiple cases of, aggravated manslaughter or whatever it would be. I mean, so seriously, there's a lot of issues here right now, but I'm proud of you, man. What a great story. Keep it up is my advice.
You stumbled onto this.
Thank you, and thanks for helping me get the story out even more, and hopefully, we can cancel out Chrissy Teigen, or at least hurt her pocketbook and, in the mission.
Hey, by the way, Amy, before we get out of here, we got to talk about what you guys do from the Facebook line. Can you help a 50-year-old man that's looking for a boost, asking for a friend?
Help him with what?
A boost.
I'm guessing he means
boost.
testosterone.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving a Victory a shout out. We're a men's health clinic. I kind of have the motto, it takes a strong man to appreciate a strong woman. Tabitha can appreciate that. We're both strong females, and we want our men to be just as strong.
That's right,
so we can
Amy.
empower each other. And,
strong
we
in
do,
every way.
A hormone replacement therapy, hormone optimization, and I'm really passionate about it. And if you look at our Google, we have hundreds, 300-400 5-star reviews. We're doing a great job at Victory Men's Health.
Tabitha's looking for a man with big feet and big hands.
Hey,
so
now.
any way you can help her out.
She said she'd ride Trump's little dinghy at one point.
Oh, my God. I was talking about a boat.
Yes, she did.
Woo! Amy Stuttle, thank you
statement's
so
not
much.
always true, just saying. You might be surprised.
And, yeah,
Amy, that's awesome.
I won't comment on that.
Amy, keep us
well,
posted.
you all have a great day, and thanks for
Victory
having me
Men's
on.
Health. Amy Stuttle, the owner. Thanks again for joining us. That was fun. That was real fun. Don't
Have a
go
good
anywhere.
day.
Thanks,
Thank
Amy.
you.
If you need a boost in any which way,
And I want to add, they do,
and it is affordable. So
and
don't-
women can go there as well for a number of different things.
I didn't know that.
They do
Hey,
a
if you
little
just want to be
test.
better in any which way,
They're a lot like the wellness center. I mean, they do like a blood test and let you know what you're deficient on, what you
Man, we didn't even
are
talk to her
allergic
about that
to.
little test that she
They do
gave.
a lot
like
of
it
things
for
at Victory
COVID.
Men's
Remember
Health.
that little
Yeah,
COVID
we just
test she
kind of
gave?
led into it, but we talked about the other stuff. Damn, you get your vitamin D and your zinc at Napootie and then get a boost over at Victory Men's Health. Look out.
I'm in. I'm in. Serious.
Hey, don't go anywhere when we come back after this breaking headlines. Brian Williams, Missouri State Senator, joining us to talk about the police reform that was passed in the state, what it means, and let's talk to Brian about all these shootings that are going on. I mean, he may not have the answer, but there's a lot that we can get into with Brian coming up. He joined us before. I remember, I'll ever forget Brian joining us and saying, yeah, the problem is the message with younger male men that they do need to, quote, comply in these arrest situations, but it's difficult. The messaging sometimes.
The messaging is what's wrong. It's,
So-
it's easy to comply.
We'll talk to Brian right after the break. You're listening to the Edge. That's Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. We're off to a strong start. Amy Stuttle, of course, President Trump called in earlier as well. He says he loved the show and he's going to call us back sometime.
Just it on Will, you know.
Yeah.
He'll be
Call us,
in
let
the
us know.
backyard in Mar-a-Lago. Oh, you called up. Let me call up the guys over at the Viper.
And back right after this, you're listening to The Edge. You can share the show. 100.7 The Viper.
Just sit there and tilt your head. Oh. To join, text JOIN-RX to 21525.
Don't let quarantine ruin your summer. Jay's RV has just what you need to social distance on the road. St. Louis's exclusive Gulfstream dealer, Jay's RV has motorhomes, conventional trailers, lightweight trailers, and more. Plus, you won't believe the amazing deals going on right now with financing available. If you already have a trailer, Jay's RV offers service the way it should be, done right at the most affordable price around. Hit the road and have the summer you've been dreaming of. Jay's RV, located in Warrenton, Missouri.
Experience golf courses from around the world with a trip to Cottleville. That's right, at Benediction Golf in Cottleville, you can virtually play Pebble Beach, St. Andrews, Sawgrass, Augusta, or one of hundreds of other courses around the world at their comfortable indoor facility on Highway N by Rack House. It's BYOB and bays are only $50 an hour, so bring a foursome and compete. Or check your swing with the SkyTrax launch monitor and shot analytics in real time. Benediction Golf, benedictiongolf.com on Facebook and Instagram.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
The Edge.
Time for some upgrades? A new deck, a privacy fence, or maybe a whole new look with new siding. But who do you call? What you gonna do? Call Bad Boys Construction LLC. They are locally owned and have over 30 years experience in every kind of fencing, siding, and deck jobs. Free estimates and everything is done right the first time. Bad Boys Construction is veteran owned and gives military discounts. So what you gonna do? Call Bad Boys Construction LLC. Online at badboysconstructionllc.godaddysites.com. On Facebook at Bad Boys Construction LLC.
Community State Bank congratulates the senior class on reaching this milestone. They offer a wide variety of banking services to suit your needs. Stop in at Community State Bank or visit c-s-b.com. Member FDIC.
Now another hour of The Edge Morning Show on KFNS Troy St. Charles. The Edge Morning Show.
Mom, Ethan's in the tree again.
Ethan, get down.
Can I climb on the swing set instead?
Sounds like it's time to get all your adventure-seeking kids to Holiday World and Splash and Safari. They'll soar on Thunderbird, race against each other on Cheetah Chase, the first launched water coaster, and get the thrills they love on all the wooden roller coasters. Get your family fun off the ground at holidayworld.com.
Free smoking, free parking, free sunscreen!
Tired of lying awake, tossing and turning, just hoping for a few hours of sleep? Get the sleep you crave with the one-of-a-kind Tempur-Pedic. Only Tempur-Pedic uses proprietary Tempur material that continuously adapts and responds to your body to relieve pressure, so you get deep, uninterrupted sleep all night, every night. The Tempur-Pedic Summer of Sleep is going on now. Take advantage of our best offer of the year and experience your best sleep of the summer. All Tempur-Pedic mattresses are on sale with select savings up to $500. Learn more at TempurPedic.com.
Wake up. The new abnormal.
This place is a nut house.
The Edge Morning Show.
Viper weather with legendary chief meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Viper meteorologist Dave Murray with my forecast on this Monday. The pattern that developed over the weekend stays with us for the next couple of days. Clouds dominate, scattered showers, and a couple of non-severe thunderstorms. Difference today, the winds are going to pick up on us. 75 for the high. Tonight, scattered showers, 62 Tuesday. You guessed it. Again, clouds, scattered showers, couple of non-severe thunderstorms, 75. Same story on Wednesday, but near 80. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, looking dry, partly sunny at 85 each day. The cool May weather is now out of the picture. From the Viper Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Now back to the Edge on 100.7, The Viper.
River Electric, a Touchstone Energy cooperative. The Edge Morning Show.
Local headlines now with Fox 2's Vic Faust.
Hey, welcome back to the Edge Morning Show. Here's a look at your morning headlines. Let's start with those Blues because the hockey playoffs for the St. Louis Blues begin tonight. Well, the Blues made it. They're a hot team, but they're also playing the number one team in all the NHL, the team that won the President's Trophy for having the most points during the regular season. That's the Colorado Avalanche. And on Friday, Blues captain Ryan O'Reilly predicted that they were going to win. That series starts tonight at 9 p.m. in Colorado. The Cardinals, well, it was a bad weekend. Let's just say, let's get the hell out of California. They were swept by the Padres. They looked terrible. Everything they did was crap. They get the day off, travel day. They come back and host the Pirates tomorrow. When it comes to shootings in the St. Louis area, it was a horrible weekend. Again, there was a woman shot and killed this morning at 6:30 a.m. in North St. Louis. A man was shot and killed in the Carondelet neighborhood yesterday. He died at the scene at around 11:30 a.m. A 58-year-old man was shot in the parking lot of the Jury and Bonefish Grill in Brentwood in a busy area Saturday night. And also late Saturday night, you had a shooting on Delmar in University City, right near Clayton. A husband and wife coming home from dinner, shots came in the back of their car. She was hit and she died, a woman in her 70s. The deadline to file taxes is today. Don't forget about that. Also, fully vaccinated shoppers. You don't have to wear a mask at Schnucks anymore. I saw what that was like on Saturday to Sunday. We'll see where that goes. And also, the AP has now been called out of Israel. All media, this after the Gaza Bureau was leveled in an airstrike. Of course, that situation is not coming down. Let's look at your morning headlines.
This is the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell on Vic Faust for Fox 2. By the way, guys, the Blues only moved their capacity up to 9,000 now.
That's ridiculous.
They moved it up from 4,100 to 9,000.
There were 9,000.
5,000, excuse me.
There were 10,000 people at Schnucks yesterday without masks on. So why are the Blues so ridiculous?
I can't disagree with you.
But did you see the game out in San Diego? Did you watch any of that game yesterday?
Yeah.
There was a lot of people out there.
Yeah, there was because it's outdoors.
It's outdoors.
Wait till you see the Cardinals when the Cubs series starts, and they've got almost 30,000.
When's that? What's the date on
May
that?
21st.
Oh, boy.
That's when it's coming up.
Can't wait.
Hey, a big issue Friday. I mean, the Missouri legislature was in session until Friday. It was crazy. It was massive. It was sprint. A lot happened to the end. But one thing that did get passed through was police reform in the state of Missouri. And Brian Williams, Missouri senator, friend of the show, who's joined us before to talk about serious issues, joins us again this morning. Brian, congratulations on getting this bipartisan legislation passed through, because anybody that works in Jefferson City knows that's not easy to get anything passed in this day and age.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a great morning on this Monday after concluding the legislative session, Vic.
Tell us more about, just remind listeners and viewers on Facebook what exactly you were able to get passed and why you think it's going to be a good thing for everybody involved, police and those suspects who are, quote, being arrested or apprehended for whatever reasons.
Well, Vic, let's start with this. You know my story. Oldest child of a single mom, raised in Ferguson. And, when I was elected to the Missouri Senate, I was the first black man to go there in 20 years. And, I understood immediately with things that were happening, not only in Ferguson, but throughout the country, that George Floyd could have easily been me. So I took on a very challenging issue, and that was clearly finding ways for Missouri to explore police accountability and then ultimately work towards criminal justice reform measures to be able to put our state on a trajectory to lead when it comes to having model citizens.
That's fascinating. Let me ask you this: what was the things that you took from that? How do you see getting all the reforms that you want? Where are we at in that process, and how do you feel about everything?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel great. When I first took this on, there was a lot of folks that just didn't think it would be possible. And, I believe one thing, and I've talked about this with Vic quite a few times, when I ran for state senate, it was for two reasons. One, I would find myself complaining about politics and government. And my mom and grandmother said, why don't you do something about it? And I didn't know what that meant at the time, but clearly it led to me running for state senate. And then the second reason was I really got tired of Democrats and Republicans alike fighting each other and everyday people suffering. So I vowed to find a way to work with my Republican colleagues and get things done for this state. So now we have passed not only a comprehensive police reform bill, but it has included some very strong criminal justice reform measures. So what we would be, this bill would, once it goes to the governor's desk, which will be soon, the governor signed this bill into law, it would prohibit law enforcement from using chokeholds unless deadly force is authorized. It would increase the penalty to a Class C felony for officers and correctional staff who engage in any level of misconduct with a person in their custody. It would also prevent officers who have been discharged from one department for wrongdoing from simply moving to another police department. But we also were able to expand that and go a little bit further into what we created, a criminal justice reform package, which would allow a motion to vacate. And basically what that would do is allow local prosecutors or circuit attorney to file and maintain, to file and reopen a case to determine whether or not someone who has been convicted of a crime was wrongfully or rightfully accused of that crime. And what that'll do is, in my opinion, is help the state, help those individuals gain back their freedom if they may have been convicted wrongfully of a crime.
Right.
It would also provide an opportunity for expungement. And right now in the state of Missouri, you have to wait 7 years to petition to have a nonviolent felony offense expunged from your record. We lowered that to 3 years for a felony and 1 year for a misdemeanor.
Senator,
one thing I think is important is reentering society can be a difficult process. So we want to put people in every position that they can to be able to get a quality job. And as my mom always said, the only thing better than committing a crime is going to a good paying job.
Correct.
We would also provide feminine hygiene products for inmates. We've heard situations where there's been correctional facilities where folks don't have the money to purchase these things. So it would ensure that women and men have access to hygiene products. And then last but not least, failure to execute a warrant. We've seen, my district has several municipalities. They all have police departments. And, folks could drive within a 20-mile radius and get several citations. And we don't want to encourage folks to not take care of a municipal fee. But if for some reason they were unable to pay and they got their kid in the back seat while driving them to school or trying to get to work, giving them an opportunity with discretion to get another court date and get that taken care of.
Hey, Senator Williams, I want to point out something. I personally don't feel that we need police reform, even though I recently read a poll that says most Americans do. I don't agree with that poll. I think we need people reform because I'll tell you what, anytime somebody resists arrest, that is a deadly situation for police right off the bat, because anytime someone resists arrest, that means they're willing to do anything they can to escape that police officer, and that includes using deadly force against the police officer or other members of the community. And I'm not saying that I agree that chokeholds should be used, but I think an officer has every right to defend themselves and the community. And if that's what it takes, I don't think that the officer has to wait until a gun is pointed at them or that they're in a life or death situation. As soon as someone resists arrest, they have to assume that this person is willing to do absolutely anything. We have to get the message out there to people. Do not resist arrest. You must comply, because you know what? If you resist arrest, you cannot win. You will never win. You'll never win. And you have to comply and live to see another day. How do we get that message out there?
Well, I'm not a fan of German chocolate cake, and there's a lot of people that say it's really good. So, that doesn't mean that it's not a good cake because I don't like it. I think that, this comes down to one thing that I made clear at the very beginning of this process almost a year ago when my office started working on this is, this isn't a us versus them situation. This is about tackling a subculture of bad police officers that have tainted what I would agree all of us believe is an honorable profession. And, I've met with law enforcement throughout the entire state, and that's why we were able to get this monumental piece of legislation done, because they've made it very clear the only thing that a good cop hate worse than anything is a bad cop.
But don't we
And
all
we wanna
assume
make
all
sure that
cops
we
are
get
good?
those bad cops off the street.
Teachers make mistakes, but we are supposed to assume they're all good. I mean, senators make mistakes, but we're supposed to assume they're all good. So why is it that one bad cop taints the entire police station and all of a sudden it's okay to not comply because all cops are bad because of one?
Well, it's not just one cop, though.
It's not one, but it is the minority, just like in any profession. And there are systems in place in the police department already to weed out the bad cops.
She makes a very good point. Let me expand on her point and ask you this, and let me applaud you first. For anything bipartisan in politics, I'm good on.
Absolutely.
But
in a red state.
In a red state, but exactly. But now that you're one of our senators, how are you going to develop legislation that says, all right, we've taken care of the cops now. How do we go and say, if you are a dangerous felon, if you create havoc in our communities, this is the deterrent for you doing that? What kind of laws are you guys developing saying we need to now address the fact that St. Louis, Missouri is the most crime-ridden place on the planet Earth almost? How do we start to shift our focus from the men in blue to the men who wear all black? How do we start to see crime as an epidemic as well?
Yeah, well, what this will do is this would address a lot of those concerns, because what we're going to start doing is, one, building that trust and accountability to where that woman on her block that know who the bad actors are, she feels comfortable going forward to law enforcement and pointing those bad actors out and not feeling like she may become a criminal in the process. The other part to that is that, we've passed plenty of laws in the legislature to address violent crime. The governor spent a entire special session addressing violent crime, where we focused on lowering the age of children to be tried as an adult. I think it went down to the age of 11. By the way, we raised that back up to 18. But we didn't see crime go down because of alleged young people having guns and committing crimes. We've also have clearly at one point in time had maximum capacity when it comes to prison facilities. Missouri has plenty of laws in place that not only gives people an unprecedented amount of time. We have a guy now, Bobby Bostic, who I went and met in Jefferson City Correctional Facility. He's in prison for 247 years, and the judge says she knows she gave him too much time. And this is for committing a crime as a 14-year-old for an armed robbery, and nobody was killed. So, we do have very, very strict and very draconian laws in this state when it comes to folks that commit crimes. But to get back to the point is that, we have to figure out how do we create a system that not only is punishing folks for committing bad crimes, but not putting them in a position not to become model citizens after serving their time, and allow them to re-enter society as model citizens.
Do you see a problem with maybe a cop looking at a situation and going, I'm not even putting my hands on that one because I really don't want a lawsuit against me. I'll let the guy just do whatever he's going to do. Do you see a problem with villainizing the cops in any way, shape, or form and saying, yeah, that's a slippery slope right there?
Well, my uncle, who retired from St. Louis City Police Department after serving 27 years, he drives me now. And in 27 years as a St. Louis City police officer, he's never shot an unarmed individual or been in a situation where someone lost their life in a line of duty. And I can tell you right now, on the other side of that, my family, he retired at an odd year, 27 years, when he had every intention of going to 30. And that's because my family was worried whether or not he would make it home safe at night. So we see both sides to this. But there are good police officers out there that have done their job very well and didn't have to shoot an unarmed person in the process.
I want to point out, and Vic, I know Vic has a lot of questions for you.
No,
I just want to point
no,
out
go
that
ahead.
when a police officer shoots an unarmed person, that doesn't mean they're a bad cop. That means they were put in a situation where they had to defend themselves 99.9% of the time. So we can't say that every time a police officer shoots or kills someone that they're a bad cop, because that's not the case. And there are plenty of bad cops who never get in the situation where they have to kill someone. We can't generalize like that.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. And that's why we've had very minimal cases where police officers have shot unarmed people and that were actually convicted. Derek Chauvin was probably the first person to be convicted of a crime. But, let's not lose focus of the bill. We worked on this bill with law enforcement to draft the language, the Highway Patrol, the Fraternal Order of Police, the sheriffs, and they all agreed that this was not only great legislation, but they supported it wholeheartedly.
Okay, that's good.
That's why it was such a
grateful
big.
for that
That's why
support.
it was such a big reform bill, because you had so many sides coming to the table. I mean,
Hey, we
everybody in
don't
the
we don't
state
do the
basically
job.
saying something needed to be done.
That is good because we're not the ones doing the job, and if the ones doing the job agree with what you're doing, that's even better in a lot of ways. And my plea to you, I'm on my knees right now if you can't see. My plea to you is that start to put legislation together that addresses this out of control city and this region over here, because it is.
Are you talking about gun violence?
I'm talking about violence with a big.
Well, we're
period.
coming off a horrible weekend, Brian. More shootings all over St. Louis City. Even on the edge in Brentwood, and in Delmar.
Mhm.
I mean, it's only increasing.
In 2007, the legislature decided to do away with background checks as well as conceal and carry permit laws. And ever since the legislature has done that, we've seen roughly a 30%, maybe even higher, increase in gun violence and gun-related homicide. I think the next thing that we need to focus on, and I'm committed to doing this, is creating stricter gun laws, and making it a lot more difficult for folks who are domestic violence and folks that abuse folks and folks that shouldn't have access to guns, closing those loopholes. I mean, think about it right now. We just passed a bill to the Second Amendment Preservation Act, which wants to nullify federal gun law.
Well, there are a lot of see, you went down a weird path. You went down an odd path there because a lot of people are listening to that going, yeah, that's not what we're talking about. See, there's a lot of people out there that feel like if I'm going to get on a train system from the airport downtown St. Louis, I'm concealing and carrying, period, because I'm protecting myself. And I think that the Second Amendment to a lot of people is one of the most righteous amendments that we have in the Constitution. So, man, that's a weird fight that you got there, because I kind of agree. If we're going to start making the police job harder, I'm going to protect my family. You know what I mean?
The police, law enforcement is strongly opposed to any legislation that would promote more guns on the streets for civilians, where they have to walk into situations that have been, increasingly more dangerous than it would have been had there not been firearms involved.
You're talking about criminals having firearms.
My district has the most MetroLink stops in the region. It goes from Washington University to Lambert Airport. And to think of the countless number of unarmed people, students, innocent bystanders who could potentially be shot by a civilian who's probably not trained, because they don't have to have a concealed and carry permit to own or carry a firearm, and lose their life because we allow guns on public transportation.
I would really like, Senator Williams, I would really like to know who all these citizens are who legally carry weapons out shooting people. I'd really like to know, because the nearly 300 deaths we had in the city of St. Louis last year were not civilians with legal weapons. These were people who were going to buy their guns out of a trunk in an alley, regardless of gun laws. I mean, there are not armed concealed carry civilians out shooting people. That is a fact.
Well, I don't know those numbers, so
the numbers are very minimal.
I can't debate that. I don't think we have any real metric to verify.
Well, we do. We can look at the SLMPD website, and we can see the homicides of the people that were killed in the city last year, and that is our metrics. Those are our statistics. And none of those, almost none of those were legal gun carriers.
Right. In the state of Missouri, right now, there's a loophole. If someone has been convicted or even have a restraining order against them for domestic violence, that is not a logical threshold to take their guns away from them.
Senator,
right now we've seen domestic violence situations where women and their children have both been killed.
No question.
By by spouses that have been involved in domestic violence cases, and there's no law in Missouri that would take their gun away from them.
Okay. Yeah, I always wondered this, and maybe you can answer it. This is a serious question. I'm not trying to be anything other than serious. How did the Second Amendment become such a Democrat versus Republican thing? Why is it that all Democrats just hate the fact of legal guns being owned, and Republicans are like, I'm going to go buy as many guns as I can get my hands on? How did that happen, and what is the mentality and ideology behind that?
I don't think it is, because I know a lot of Democrats that are gun owners, and, you know, I have friends and family members who hunt. My chief of staff, he goes deer hunting every season. I mean, he owns a firearm. You know, I don't think it's a Democrat or Republican thing at all. I just think we need to stop making the Constitution relevant when it's convenient.
We're talking with Missouri Senator Brian Williams, and we appreciate the talk and some debate.
Senator, are you?
I had some of the best fried turkey because I have friends who own firearms, and they go turkey hunting every single year. And I can tell you right now, I would pass a law to ensure that they have their firearms every turkey.
Turkey guns.
Senator, let me ask you a question. Are you a gun owner?
I do own a firearm, but I don't care.
Mm-hmm. But you do own a gun.
I do.
So
and
what?
I have a conceal and carry permit.
What would be your proposition if you had to proposition Kim Garner or the mayor in St. Louis City to stop, to minimize this absolutely ridiculous violence that's been taking place in St. Louis City?
What I would say is the same thing I've said to the mayor, who I have a great relationship with, is to take that $517 million that the city is getting in relief and rescue relief funding and figure out how to strategically bring in some of the smartest people. I don't care where they went to high school. I don't care where they live in this country, and figure out how to put together a plan to make our region, first starting with downtown St. Louis, and work out from there safe and a place that folks can go and enjoy and not have to worry about their safety.
I'm all on board.
Agreed.
Wow.
And I will say this, Tashara Jones, yesterday I saw you on your news channel that the economic development zones that she's trying to put together. I'm a big fan of that, man.
No, I and by the way, I've got an interview with Tashara tonight on Fox 2 News at 9 regarding the 98 police officer positions that were vacant being eliminated in favor of getting some more social workers out there. And you're going to hear an interesting perspective from Tashara as well tonight. And you're going to hear police representation say it's the dumbest thing they've ever heard of. So you've always got two sides to a story going at it. Brian, we hit a break, man. We appreciate it. Love you joining the show all the time. Congratulations on getting your major bipartisan crime bill and police reform passed.
Hey, guys, let's keep it going. And again, I'm always grateful for your perspectives, and I look forward to coming on again soon.
All right.
Thanks,
Missouri
man.
Senator Brian Williams, we appreciate the time. We got to take a quick break. You're listening to The Edge with Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. When we come back, we'll talk about that. Plus, recap everything that we started the show off with when it comes to the mask situations going on. Tabitha came strong there.
Yeah, you did.
First, I want to say that I love Senator Brian Williams.
I'm glad he comes on and
I'm
listens.
glad he comes on and talks to
an
us.
adult conversation, whether you agree or disagree.
And he knows we're probably going to ask him some tough questions and debate some tough issues.
There you go. We'll be right back right after this. It's 8:24.
On 100.7, The Viper. Bentley's Marine and Electronics is open in Lake St. Louis and ready to serve you. Check out their marine section for boat accessories, marine audio, water floats and supplies. Upgrade your vehicle with a new stereo, amp, speakers, reverse camera, remote start, and more. And don't forget the home theater. Shop local with confidence and let Bentley's Marine and Electronics show you that they meet or beat the big box stores. On Lake St. Louis Boulevard across from Denny's. Online at Bentley'sElectronics.com and on Facebook at Bentley's Marine and Electronics.
All right, is that a Q2 or Dwayne's CPA went MIA. To keep his books and his sanity, he needs to find a replacement ASAP.
Hey, Johnny, have you ever heard of a fungible good?
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Whether you're a pro on the job site or managing properties, clean and safe is your #1 priority. And Lowe's has the pro-grade cleaning supplies you need. We go beyond the basics, bringing you commercial cleaning from top brands like Clorox, Zep, and Rubbermaid. And in larger sizes, so you can take on any cleaning job, knowing you have the quantity you need. Shop Lowe'sForPros.com and have your items delivered, or pick up in store. Lowe's, the new home for pros. U.S. only.
Weber Chevrolet has been in business since 1902. No other car dealer in St. Louis of any brand can say that. Nobody sells more Chevrolet, period. Weber Chevrolet is one dealer with 3 roofs. In Missouri at Olive and 270, and in Illinois Metro East, Columbia, and Granite City. All easy to get to, just follow the 270 loop. Also, all online accessible at WeberChevrolet.com. Right now, Weber Chevrolet is open but very thorough in their cleaning, disinfecting, and social distancing rules. And don't forget, Weber Chevrolet service departments are award-winning and second to none. In fact, other dealers send their problems to Weber Chevy to fix. Now during this crisis, Weber Chevrolet has teamed up with Detroit to come up with awesome deals to help people save money and manage their budget. Discounts, incentives, and the ability to not make your payment for up to 4 months. Weber Chevrolet since 1902, WeberChevrolet.com.
Remember chasing the ice cream truck when you were a kid? Well, this is much better, and you don't have to chase it down. Clementine's Naughty and Nice Creamery, now open in Lake St. Louis at the Meadows Shopping Center. All natural, handcrafted ice cream with unique flavors that change weekly. Vegan and gluten-free options as well. Take home a pint or enjoy a scoop, and you'll love the outdoor patio. And you know it's gotta be great because they were featured in Oprah Magazine's coveted O List in 2019. Clementine's Naughty and Nice Creamery.
With 24/7 customer service and guaranteed repairs, your Progressive policy works the way it's supposed to. Unlike this stressful meditation guide.
Take a deep breath. Focus on all the things you have to do. Did someone make the vet appointment yet? You don't know? That feels like something you should know.
Switch to Progressive today.
You are a mess.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Repairs through Progressive Network Shops guaranteed for as long as you own or lease your car.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/find. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right. Free at ZipRecruiter.com/find. That's ZipRecruiter.com/find. ZipRecruiter.com/find.
Push dirt and boundaries. Side & Stricker Nobe Partners has great financing, lease, and warranty options on our compact construction equipment. Right now, save up to $2,500 on a brand new John Deere compact track loader with a competitive trade-in. Looking for a partner you can trust? Our dedicated service and sales departments are waiting to help. Side & Stricker Nobe, your partner for the job site. snpartners.com.
Offer valid through 5/31/21. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
The important thing to look for in a roofing company right now is, are they local? Brian Dawson Roofing has served the area for years, locally owned and operated. Brian Dawson Roofing will take care of all your roofing needs, from shingles to cedar shake, replacement to new construction. Call 465-9465 for a local roofing company that stands behind their work. Call Brian Dawson Roofing today, a local, fully insured roofing company. 465-9465. Online at briandawsonroofing.com.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to The Edge, the one and only Edge, the fastest 2 hours of morning radio. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell on Vic Faust and Fox 2. Appreciate Missouri Senator Brian Williams joining us already. Amy Stuttle, who went viral because of Candace Owens as she was trying to call out Chrissy Teigen, telling multiple people they should kill themselves before, but still has multiple advertising contracts. And we had a call from President Trump this morning. Eric doesn't think it was the real President Trump, though. I had texts like, hey, that was great. I'm glad President Trump sounded like him.
Does anybody think that Trump's not going to stop by the studio when he goes on his presidential tour? That's right. Come on, man. When Van Halen went on tour, they hit all the K-Shis of the world. We're the K-Shi for Trump now.
Didn't you ask him this morning if he was running in 2024?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He's doing it.
He's doing it.
Dude, and he's going to have fun doing it. You think he doesn't want to get back there in the stadiums and arenas having fun with the people again? Come on, man. I can
totally see it. Hey, we just had an interesting thing that just came out news-wise. Supreme Court agreed this morning to consider a major rollback of abortion rights.
Saw that.
Saying it will decide whether states can ban abortions. So it's the states, not federal. States can ban abortion before a fetus can survive outside the womb. The court's order, of course, sets up a big showdown over that abortion, probably in the fall. And it's interesting because there's more of a conservative court now, seemingly ready to drastically alter what's happened after 50 years of rulings on abortion rights. So we'll see. Of course, the court first announced a woman's constitutional right to an abortion, 1973, Roe versus Wade.
Why don't the states have that power anyway? They've got a lot of other powers. Why does it have to be a federal issue, this abortion thing, man?
That's a great question.
People that live in Alabama that don't subscribe to killing kids in the womb might be a lot different than someone that lives in Seattle, Washington.
Well, this case was spurred by a case with Mississippi law that would prohibit abortions after the 15th week of pregnancy.
I'm not against. I don't.
So you could do it after the 15th
and that's
week.
such a tough subject because I'm not for banning abortion, but my problem with abortion is I don't think people should use it in lieu of birth control. And unfortunately, that's what we see. When they did a study of the women who have received abortions, a lot of these abortions were by the same women who had multiple abortions. Because you know what? To me, I know this is a very radical thing to say. I am all for forced sterilization. If you need 10 abortions, you need to be sterilized.
Damn.
No one needs that. You're not raped. I mean, I can't imagine somebody being raped 10 times or making a mistake like that 10 times. And I know it's radical. And I'm sorry. But how can we allow people to abort millions of babies, the same people?
She never was married.
Over and over.
She never was married. That would be hard to wake up to.
Oh my God!
Hey now,
wake up to.
You mean?
I'm sorry.
No one has complained yet.
Sorry, but it's.
Nobody has complained yet. That's the best.
I'm just kidding, Tab. I'm kidding. That's just some brutal conversation that you're having over there. So, no, I'm just.
You're not that far away from me.
Here's the deal.
And it's not like
I'm not waking up to that opinion.
And it's not
that opinion, not the face.
And I just want to make sure everyone knows. When I leave here, I actually have a normal life. I don't go home and talk about these things.
Is it gagball woman? Anyway, here's the deal.
Militia.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not some hardcore crazy person.
A lot of us. I don't even know what I consider myself. Conservative. I'm not liberal. I'm not.
You are conservative.
I'm not. I have so many social ideas.
Some days he's conservative.
I have a lot of economic ideas. My social is. I don't give a damn what you do with your life socially. I don't care if you're gay, if you're LGBTQ, LMNOP. I just do not give it.
Did you say?
Look at that outfit you're wearing, dude. That's awesome.
You said LMNOP.
Whatever the hell. I just don't care. It's like I live your life. You got, the way I look at life is you were born into it.
I see what you're saying. You are like that.
Yeah, you're in the waiting room of life and live it as happy as you can until you check out on the other side. But I do have one opinion about the abortion thing. There comes a point when this kid can feel. There comes a point when it's in the womb. It should have some rights. You decided to have sex with this dude or this lady, and you now have to take responsibility for it. You have to understand this is a human being at some point. I don't know if it's in week 3, 11, 15, 29. I don't know. But that does have to be a topic of conversation. My body, my choice. Okay.
Except for when it comes to COVID.
You beat me to it.
Exactly. We talked
You
about
beat
that
me
on
to
Friday.
it. So I applaud the Supreme Court at least taking the case. I don't know where it's
they'll
going to
take it.
go.
Yeah, there's no guarantee that they're going to give states the right to ban abortions. They're just listening to it. Now, there is a more, quote, conservative majority. National media will tell you it's 6-3 conservatives to Democrats, but it's really 5-4 because Justice Roberts has ruled with the liberal judges on the bench an enormous amount of the time.
I mean, is this a good trade-off for this? Man, let the states figure this out. If you want to live in a state where you're not tax funding abortion, and let's say DeSantis says there's no abortions here in Florida anymore. Sorry, not going to happen. You move your ass to Florida, and then you get to participate in your own utopia. If you believe that a woman's right is the end-all, be-all of everything, take your ass out of Tennessee and move your ass up to New York State, where maybe they think it's the best thing on the planet. And then you start to see the country really develop into the us versus them, this completely split country. And then that's maybe what I have a theory that the revolution is not going to be anything that has to do with any guns, any weaponry, any military. It's just going to be people getting in their U-Hauls, moving to parts of the country that supply them with the life that they want to live.
Well, I don't agree with that, but I want to throw something in there, and then we can go back to the subject that one of our listeners just got banned, a 30-day Facebook ban for a comment he made on our show.
Okay,
Josh.
no, we need to talk about that.
A 30-day ban. I got the screenshot of.
He got banned today?
Just now. He was commenting just now.
Did it have to deal with Chrissy Teigen?
I do not know.
How do you
It says, he sent me a screenshot. It says, your comment didn't follow our community standards. Your post didn't follow our community standards. Your comment didn't follow our community standards. So he's been banned many times. But I didn't see any comments on our comment line to me that violated community standards.
Is he there now?
And Josh, if you want to call us, you can tell us what happened at 636-695-2915.
Call us.
No, I would just like to hear
I would love to know what's going on.
Which comment it was or what he said, because it was a topic that we talked about with Amy Stuttle and her Victory Men's Health earlier in the show.
What? We don't. I don't. Do you feel like you're an influencer on this show? I don't. I feel like we just bring up questions.
Here's the comment.
And talk about them.
He said, if you get your child vaccinated with a vaccine that has been tested in clinical trials, you are a bad person. And that went against community standards and got him a 30-day
because it's vaccine
jail
related.
ban.
Yeah, of
Man,
course.
call in.
But that's
I would love
crazy
to
that
talk
they're
to him.
picking up on comments as we're speaking.
And, well, I guess he made that comment because we had
Today.
I guess it was on our comment line, but we hadn't even talked about that situation. The only thing we talked about was early in the show how it feels to actually go out throughout the entire community and not be forced to wear a mask.
Yeah,
correct.
Well, do you on this show? Do you feel like we are trying to influence anyone's decision? I don't. I think we just a topic comes up and you go like, and you just kind of go like discuss.
And we're
I'm like,
entitled to our own opinions
but
and
I
how
don't-
we feel about our own bodies and what we do to our bodies. But we've always said, people, if you're an older person, if you're elderly, if you're at risk, if you have immune issues, you probably need a vaccine.
Tabitha
great.
Tabitha posted a new term for vaccines over the weekend. as well.
Transvax. I can't remember what it is.
Oh, come on, I teed this up for you.
Transvaxite. Transvax.
What the hell, Tabitha? Don't come up with your bumper
look.
sticker stuff unless you're going to remember what it is.
I think it's transvaxite.
And what is a
I'm quite certain. A transvaxite means I identify as a vaccinated person, so I don't have to wear my mask.
I like that. That's very good.
I did not come up with that term, by the way. I just shared
Well,
it.
you look like you weren't vaccinated, but you can't tell me that because I feel like I've been
you know
vaccinated.
what? I do look like I'm not vaccinated. You know why? Because magnets are not sticking to my body. And I know somebody over the weekend whose
You're going to get
friend.
banned.
Don't
you're gonna
you
be
dare
in a 30,
tell me
You're going to be in a
somebody.
30-day ban.
Someone I know shared a story with me that a friend of theirs who has been vaccinated recently tried the magnet experiment and it actually worked. The magnet
I don't believe
actually
it.
stuck to their arm. So we're going to send Eric
I don't
Johnson out to
believe
get
it.
vaccinated.
That is not true.
So we can try this. I believe it's true because you know what? When women are getting mammograms after being vaccinated, this is definitely 100% a true story. It is a fact that their mammograms light up and their lymph nodes light up.
I have heard that.
And it makes it look like it's a positive mammogram.
Well, nearly 66% of Missourians 65 and older have been fully vaccinated, and 76% of Missourians have received at least one dose of COVID-19.
Yes.
How are we looking on the cases? The only stat you have any more to go on. Don't believe us. Don't believe Naputi. Don't believe Biden. There's only one stat to look at. That is hospitalizations, period. That's it.
But they're around 200. But here's the problem. They're called COVID cases, but they could also be other things like flu.
Ooh.
And that's the problem, Eric, because guess what? In January, and I keep bringing this up, we had about 235 hospitalizations, 230.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're around 200.
Okay.
That's only 30 less a day.
So it's still not that many.
But it hasn't been that many since January.
Fantastic.
And that was
Good
before
news.
most people were vaccinated.
Okay.
So that's I think the takeaway.
Well, here's the takeaway. There are more outdoor and indoor events happening in St. Louis County, St. Charles, name your poison, and the cases are still going down. How about that one?
Exactly. COVID's gone.
It is gone.
COVID is
gone.
over. As of Friday, COVID's over.
Well, let's do this. I know we can
that's why
identify if
the
someone has the
nurses
flu.
union. That's why the nurses union. Before you got here today, Eric, I don't know if you were listening to the show, and for those listening now, the largest nurses union in America, the largest, has come out and chastised the CDC, ripping them, saying they're going to kill people because they're letting people take masks off.
Ooh.
They came out. Now, this is a pro-Democratic group, just to be fair.
Yeah.
They've made it known that they support Democrats. They supported Bernie Sanders.
Of course they do, because
and
the
then
Democrat
then they
is
publicly
symbiotic.
supported Joe Biden.
It's symbiotic.
So I don't know where this plays into everything, if politics are involved. But a lot of
I'm going to tell you
a lot
where.
of people will say it is.
And
It's
a
a
lot
negotiating
of nurses,
point.
And they don't speak for every nurse, because I know several nurses who have opinions very much like ours, who know the masks are not helpful, but yet they're forced to wear them. Of course, at work, even without COVID, they have to wear a mask. But the union doesn't represent everyone, just like the teachers union doesn't represent all teachers.
There was this was a year ago. It's amazing we've been doing it this long. But about a year ago, we had a physician on from, I think it was SLU or BJC, I can't remember. And my doctor, the one I was interfacing with way back then, he goes, "Yeah, I listened to your show yesterday." I go, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, that guy was an idiot, that physician that you guys had on." I go, "Why do you
Which
say
physician?
that?" I do not remember what his name was. It was a him.
Oh,
I do
this was
remember
a
that.
while back?
A year ago at least. And I go, "Well, why is that?" And he goes, "Well, because anybody that's done any rudimentary studies about viruses knows how this thing interacts." And he goes, "It's really very predictable what's going on here." And this is
But
back.
that's not true, though. It's not.
It is
this,
so
This
true.
virus
It
wasn't
is
that
so
predictable
true.
because it ended up
No,
causing
in the post-mortem,
leaking blood vessels and blood thousands of microscopic blood clots. That's not normal.
A lot of viruses play havoc on the body. They do.
They
Tabitha.
do.
And
They
then
do.
They do.
I got something funny. Somebody
Go
just
ahead.
texted me this. It has a picture of a woman, and she's got two buttons to push, and she's sweating and freaking out. On the left, it says, it says Karens right now. These are Karens.
Okay.
Wear my mask to signal my virtue on the left. Wear
Okay.
my mask.
Rachel Maddow.
Yeah. On the right, remove my mask to show I'm vaccinated.
Oh! I went into Schnucks yesterday.
That is great.
I don't know if you
I
guys have
love
done
it.
this yet. Look, I try to be as honest as I can on this show. I went into Schnucks yesterday, and I said to myself, I'm not going to wear a damn mask.
Good for you.
But there is something about being cooped up in a mask for the last 9-10 months, mandatorily, right, that makes you a little bit like, man, I feel like I'm streaking naked around here.
Exactly.
I don't feel like that. I guess because I've worn
I feel
one.
like I'm on the football field with no clothes on.
I don't feel like that at all. I never felt like I was conditioned into wearing
We're
the
going
mask
streaking.
because I didn't wear it that often.
It's just something you got to get your mind wrapped around. And I'm telling you, again, I go back to the soccer moms. They're the ones without the mask on in Walmart and Schnucks right now. They're the ones that give you that weird look like, you're a fool. Take that thing off. And I appreciate them for that.
Well, I saw mostly elderly. When I say elderly, by those who were told they really should be wearing masks, 65, 70 and older.
Right.
Wearing masks.
But maybe they should even with flu. I mean, and I'm not comparing COVID to
Exactly.
flu, but when you're in that age group, a lot of illnesses, particularly respiratory illnesses, can cause pneumonia and other viruses.
Amen, sister.
And I don't
That's
have an
right.
issue with that. You know, everyone should
You can
prolong
have
their
you can
life
have
as much as they
kidney
possibly
shutdown
can.
from the flu. You can have. There are so many things that the
The
flu
flu is deadly for a lot of people.
And guess what? COVID is as well, and it's nouveau.
As
it's
is a
new.
cold for some
it's
people.
a new virus, and so the human body had to come in contact with it to go. I think I can fight this thing off, but there's going to be a few people that do not make it through this thing. This is my theory, of course, and this is kind of what we've all been researching this for the last year.
Over a year,
From
yes.
what I've understand, the one thing takeaway is what is called a T1 cell. That T1 cell, once it's in your body, it remembers until you die. Until
That's
you
correct.
die.
And each and every time we catch COVID, and we're all going to be infected a number of times going forward.
Yes.
We may not know it. We may not have symptoms, but our bodies will adjust each and every time. And our immune system, if we keep it healthy with various minerals and vitamins,
Yes.
it will continue to be stronger. And our immune system really is key. We have to keep our immune system
And
strong.
one thing that disgusts me about this show, when we were the war on COVID, whatever, is the physicians that would come on the show, or the virologists that you had on, or the whatever. They wouldn't at least say the rudimentary facts about how viruses work. If we asked them a question, they go, "Well, we
but
don't
Naputi
really
did.
know
Naputi
about."
talked about the quote rudimentary. How it works, how a virus works.
He did, but he was also. See, the thing about us is, when I first met Naputi, I didn't know him from Adam. So he started talking like he did, and I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense to me. But the guys on the national news stories are saying exactly the opposite of what you're saying.
They just said, the people on national news just admitted, yesterday, that it's an airborne virus, something we've known on this show for over a year. You cannot trust mainstream news. They,
right.
In the real science, they're finally catching up. I mean, I have lost all respect for what they call real science at this point in my life.
Yeah.
All respect.
The awakening is happening. The awakening will start when people are going into all your favorite places without masks on. Then you'll start to feel it. 30,000 people at the Cubs game coming up. Boom! That's when we're going to start to feel it.
Well, just put it this way. A lot. When I say a lot of people, like the nurses union. We're shocked.
That's political.
We're shocked.
Yeah, politics.
To see what the CDC did out of nowhere. Literally.
And what's behind it?
Literally
what are they up to,
out
Vic?
Something's going on.
They're up to something. What is it?
It's politics, money.
Come on. You know what? They've printed out, trillions of dollars in money over COVID. They have carried on and kept people restricted, put people out of business, put people out of work. And now all of a sudden, one day, everything's good. Take your mask off, people. Be free again. Something is going on.
Well, why don't you find out what that is?
It was all vaccine. Everybody needs a vaccine. You can't do anything without a vaccine.
Are there any nurses
What's going on?
Are there any nurses on the Facebook right now? Raise your hand. And I would love to talk to somebody, because I'll tell you what, the confusion on nurses is just as much as the public right now. Because I know a lot of physicians right now that go, "I'm not wearing a mask to see my patients. I don't believe that this thing is that dangerous."
And I saw it the other way.
Did you really?
Dr. Garza, when I was interviewing him Friday,
he's a political hack.
But no, he's a physician.
He's a political hack in tandem with another political hack named Dr. Sam
I'm
Page.
just telling you right now, he is a physician who sees patients.
We want to trust him. We want to trust him. I want to
I
trust
think
Garza.
They were shocked that this came down.
I bet that they were.
Really?
Yes, Eric.
They weren't ready to let go of it yet.
The Ducks were not in a row for this,
Not
Eric.
yet. Not yet.
The Ducks were not in a row, and it's like, what? We just said kids should get vaccinated. Now
Right.
we got the vaccine ready, and now we're taking off masks.
Right.
But
at
here-
the same
okay,
time.
Because we won't get vaccinated if we
And the morning
if we can take
of,
those off.
Eric, the morning of, Dr. Fauci said, you know what? Kids really don't. I'm not so sure kids need to be vaccinated to go
So
back
you
to
know what?
school.
Let me-
And then later that afternoon, the CDC goes, oh, you don't have to wear a mask. You've been vaccinated.
Let me feel
what's
feel
going on.
sorry for Garza for just a second then, because if he has truly been taking his lead from Dr. Fauci, as you call him, then we need to feel sorry for what's his name again? Sorry, I always screw his name up.
Garza.
Garza.
Alex Garza.
I always feel sorry for him, because if you're really looking at that for your guidance, and then he just got the rug pulled out from underneath him, at least he could do is stand up and go, well, I was wrong. Screw that. Take the mask off. I mean, at least he could do that.
I was reminded of this, and I just looked at the Facebook line. I saw this video. This will blow your mind. At the Senate hearing last week, Fauci couldn't say, he said maybe 50 to 60% of his staff had been vaccinated.
I saw that, yeah.
Then you had Dr. Walensky with the CDC. I really don't have those numbers. And they're like, well, maybe 50, 60%, maybe.
Uh-huh.
They're not even getting vaccinated.
Exactly.
They're full staffs.
Yeah.
They were running and hiding.
The
for the
sham
hills.
is up. That's what the problem is. The sham is up.
And I'm not trying to go all crazy on people, but when they said that, I went, you've got to be kidding me.
Could it be the lawsuit that all these doctors and attorneys
Could
are
be.
placing against
Could
the
be.
CDC and other organizations? Maybe the truth is going to be told.
Okay.
And they need to backtrack pretty darn quick.
So here's the thing, man. And as a journalist, which I am not, so never accuse me of being such, but a journalist like Vic, here's the questions. Why are the numbers going down? Is the vaccine working at all? What are the day-to-day hospitalizations? And where are we at as far as deaths go for COVID? That's really all we need answered anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need anything
And
else.
that's
I'm
why-
done.
And you're not gonna hear a lot. We'll still get some updates, but you're not gonna have what you had before.
I'm
You're
so
just
out over it. Yeah, you're
but
right.
you still may see a contingent of people that try to push the mask wearing. Like, oh my God, are we really safe to wear a mask? Are we really? Are you still going to wear a mask even though you don't have to?
Yeah, yeah. Well, Garza, I feel sorry for now. I mean, if he's like a deer in the headlights over this,
if you back,
I feel so sorry for him because he's the one that has to shill for this clown, Dr. Sam Page, over in St. Louis County.
Page listens to the county health department. And then you have the Metropolitan Pandemic Task Force, which was set up.
So what do you think that meeting was like
by the
later that
department.
afternoon? Dr. Page, I got some news. Yes, what is that, Sam?
Maybe they're both clowns. Have you thought about that? Maybe one clown's not shilling for the other clown.
But they both feel
and
like
I'm not
they were
calling
doing
either of
help
them
for the
clowns, by the way.
And
Yes, you
look,
are.
and they're fools, aren't they?
And
now
he
you
said,
have
we're not. He said, if you don't wear a mask, COVID's in the air, you could get sick.
So it makes Elman, our county executive,
Maybe that's
look
where-
like a damn genius,
Maybe
doesn't it?
that's the way to go. Maybe that you don't say that those other guys are stupid. Look what Elman does. He looks amazing.
He
in
does.
all of this.
But so does
But-
Parson, and
but-
so does DeSantis.
But
and
as
so,
of
I mean,
Friday,
name your pick your
but
poison.
guess what? As of Friday, Steve Elman in St. Charles County were still encouraging people to wear masks.
Okay, let's get him on the phone
That's
immediately.
He's not going to come on the
That's
show and say,
political.
no, don't wear your mask.
Yes, he should.
He's never
Yes,
going
he
to do
should.
that.
No, he shouldn't.
Yes.
Like Chris
No,
said,
he
that's
shouldn't.
political.
Maybe we'll try to get him on and talk about it.
I encourage you to not wear your mask.
We'll try
There's
it.
no mask man.
Now, look, I just got his
We
ban
got-
for 30 days in Facebook. Good.
But
Thank you, Eric.
Great job.
take a quick break. Eric Johnson, Chris Nat, and Tabitha Hassell. I'm Big Faust and Fox 2. Don't go to her. Back right after this.
The new abnormal.
This place is a nut house.
The Edge Morning Show.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Keep your resolution to quit cigarettes this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. I Quit Vapor carries the salt nicotine systems, their latest juice flavors, and all of their pod systems. Let their staff explain why the salt nicotine system is so effective in helping you to quit cigarettes for good. It has a much smoother delivery and allows you to adjust the amount of nicotine intake. I Quit Vapor is still your one-stop shop for everything vapor. Keep your quit cigarette resolution this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. Puff bars and disposables now available.
Hi, Conrad Bellman at Bellman's Car Nection in St. Peters. Right now, we're paying top dollar for your pre-owned vehicle. At Bellman Car Nection, we'll take anything on trade, van, Jeep, truck. Spring into a quality pre-owned car, truck, Jeep, SUV, or van today. The inventory is always fresh, so hurry in today before someone else buys the one you want. Bellman's Car Nection in St. Peters at Highway 70 and 370, where you will never pay the max. Online at carnection.com.
Contractors Flooring Supply is your open to the public U.S. Corette, Casabella, Neptune, Nova, Metroflor, and Mohawk waterproof flooring specialist. 12 mil wear layers with premium pad attached at $247 per square foot. 20 mil at $297 a square foot. Nylon residential super dense carpet is just $287 per square foot installed over 8-pound lifetime Mohawk cushion. Dreamweaver Frisee carpet at 99 cents a square foot. Contractors Flooring next to New World King in Warrington.
It's all about getting the most out of summer. And with certified refurbished from eBay, you can enjoy 100% of summer with up to 50% savings on top brands. So tackle your to-do list and break out the playlist with like new products from the brands you love, including Bose, Works, iRobot, and more. Complete with a 2-year warranty from Allstate. Time to go full on summer with half off top brands this year. Shop Memorial Day savings at eBay today.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the show. It's The Edge. Hey, by the way, we love it when you share the show. 100.7 The Viper. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, and Vic Faust from Fox 2. Show update. Friday, we've already got St. Louis County prosecutor Wesley Bell is booked. He's going to talk about his program that he created to put police with young African-American students, men, to teach them about how to conduct traffic stops. I thought it was one of the best things. It was a terrific story we did on Fox. He's going to come on and talk about that, talk about some other issues. So that's Friday. We're going to have Joe on, Colonel Joe again, to talk about guns coming into the St. Louis area and what he has been told. We'll have him on Wednesday or Thursday. We're trying to book that and figure out what day we could have that on. So we'll see where we're going. By the way, the Blues tonight start the playoffs, 9 p.m. against the best team in the entire league, the Colorado Avalanche, and they're doing it without David Perron, who got a positive COVID test, whether he's sick or not.
After being vaccinated.
After being fully
right?
vaccinated.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Just like we had no. Perron, too? That was Wallman last week. Another Blue was fully vaccinated.
Well, they're
COVID.
all vaccinated. So if any of them
every
have,
player is?
as far as I
didn't
know, I think
that.
they had to be.
Isn't it the Yankees are completely COVID infested right now, and they're all vaccinated?
What they say yesterday was the 9th New York Yankee that tested positive for COVID.
And they're fully vaccinated.
And they're supposed to be fully vaccinated.
Now, this is awesome. I want to see how they turn out, if they have any symptoms at all.
I know.
This is another stat we can go. We can call it the Yankee effect. The Yankee effect. You've been vaccinated, but you have no symptoms when you get COVID.
I do. I wish I knew this. I wish I knew this, and I don't know. If you get vaccinated, they allegedly are giving you dead virus, COVID virus. Would you test positive just because of that?
Oh
man.
I don't know
Tabitha
the answer to that.
Hassell.
Well, let's
no
we'll
wonder
get an
you're so
expert on the
famous
show.
around here.
We got to go.
Hey, now.
Hey, that was a fast 2 hours. You guys are great. Thank you, listeners. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, and Vic Faust of Fox 2. Chris, I'm wearing some dark suit with a pinkish tie. My Tom James, buddy.
Yeah. Shanny takes it from here. We'll do this again tomorrow morning. Have a great day. 8 a.m.
FNS FM, Troy, St. Charles, and the Westplex. 100.7 FM, The Viper. Legendary rock that really rocks.